CIC Captains of Innovation is a subsidiary of CIC, which stands for the Cambridge Innovation Center. CIC was founded in 1999 and really builds innovation districts that encourage innovation within a community. In 2016, the CEO of CIC reached out to me to build a corporate innovation program, which we named Captains of Innovation. Captains of Innovation is a boutique consultancy that offers a full spectrum of innovation offerings for corporates, from Startup Connect to searching for new technologies, all the way through to strategy, building out innovation centers for companies. And we do that globally for a lot of different corporations. So I am the managing partner for Captains of Innovation. So I founded it and built it out over the last few years and built my team as well, working with various partners and corporations along the way as we were iterating and really growing Captains to what it is today. So I lead the strategy, work deeply with our corporate innovation partners while I have a team under me. So when they brought me on, they'd already been thinking about Captains of Innovation, and Tim Rowe, the founder, had first envisioned a program that was really about connecting corporates to the startups within CIC's ecosystem. Every day they had corporates knocking on the door saying, can we get access to all of the thousands of companies that are in CIC? And so what they envisioned was a captain would be an expert in a given maybe industry or city or geography that could open doors to startups. So if we're looking for a captain around a particular theme, we'll make sure they're multidisciplinary. They could be futurists from MIT. If we've worked with Daikin, and if we're thinking about HVAC systems and the future of cities, for instance, we will bring various people who might have different experiences around cities or construction or HVAC to the table to really start to think about what the future should look like or what they should pursue. And actually, very specific to captains, in 2016, when I came on and joined the team at CIC to build out Captains, we had a focus on Japan. We were starting and had been in conversations with Japan to launch CIC Tokyo. And so I've been on many trips to Japan and started to cultivate relationships with Japanese companies. And so I have had many collaborations with Japanese companies over the years. And so I've worked deeply both with Japanese companies looking for maybe US startups. We've done pitch events. We've taken US companies to Japan. We've done workshops in Japan and taken Japanese companies, other places in the world to do innovation sprints and things like that. So we have deep experience working with Japanese companies, and we value that partnership. There's so much rich history between Japan and the US, and specifically around the climate change initiatives that even our countries, I think this past April, our governments, signed an accord that we're working together on that. So it just opens even more doors for us to collaborate. We Captains exists for the corporates, and so we will work with a partner corporation. I'll use Sampo Japan as an example. We've worked with them since 2016. And we really kind of dig in during a discovery phase to understand where the corporation is at that moment, and then figure out various opportunities to either engage within an ecosystem, whether it's the CIC's Venture Cafe ecosystem, or more strategic things, looking for startups for that company with a long vision of where do they want to go and where do they need to go, while we're constantly prompting them, any corporation, on what comes next to stay relevant, to think about what's coming. So for instance, with Sampo Japan in 2017, we hosted an ideathon where the title was Reimagining Longevity. Sampo, as a way to diversify, had purchased Sampo Care. So they have, I think, and it may have grown since 2017, 416 elderly care facilities. And so they're very much looking for age tech innovation and ways to care for the elderly. And this is something every country around the world needs to think about, because every person on this planet is getting older. And so it's been a really interesting trajectory working with Sampo in that regard, but they're also an insurance company. So it can run various verticals while we figure out what to do. And from year to year, our strategy has changed. I think what's really important, having, you know, a history now of working with Japanese companies and US companies and partnering with them, is it's really important to start out understanding the value proposition from the company of why they want to talk to a startup. It's really important to understand what their ultimate objective is and how it ties to their business units. That's something that we really focus on, because a lot of companies can, you know, get a list of maybe very interesting startups, and they get very excited and have good intentions, but they may not know how actually to bring them into a business unit or make a business out of that. And so we've done a lot of work in terms of translating the needs of a startup, why they want to talk to a corporate, and the corporate needs. But there is great opportunity between corporations and startups, and it really is the way that they can engage in open innovation, because historically a lot of the companies had their R&D teams, and they were just inwardly focused and trying to develop the next innovative idea. And if they're not engaging in an ecosystem and constantly looking for other new ideas or new solutions, they could potentially become disrupted. So it's really key and critical for companies to do this. For instance, a lot of Japanese companies, when they find it, you have to figure out first where they are in their spectrum and why they're interested in looking for ideas. Sometimes they could be looking for the idea that they would want to then partner with an early idea stage company to really build out, whether that's through a JV partnership, or for acquiring, or even just utilizing as a, you know, a B2B kind of situation. Other times they want ready to ship products. So for instance, Sampo Care was really looking for solutions that they could bring into the elderly care facilities right then. And so as an organization supporting corporates in this search, it's really important to understand, you know, what type of organization they're looking for, so that you're not confusing things by bringing too early or too late stage companies forth. We have to get companies to move past just thinking emissions. They have to think about things in a different way. They have to reinvent and reimagine. And there's so much opportunity, whether it's, you know, new business models, yes, the inventions themselves, you know, in terms of green technology, but it could be new platforms. All of these things together with policy and, you know, governments coming together will help us move the needle on this. It's not just looking at emissions. I would say, with my experience, Japanese companies are hungry for partnerships. They're looking for collaborations with startups or ideas or research teams at universities. And so if you have an idea that you think is groundbreaking, I would look in your ecosystem to see who might have access to those companies, and or try to reach out to those companies directly. Typically you want to reach out to an innovation team, or the venture arm, or the group that's coming up with ideas, or if it relates to a particular business within that company, perhaps even, you know, the leadership of that business unit. The world is ready for innovation, and companies absolutely want those ideas. I would say, you know, if you have an idea or you're passionate, you know, about this space, green technology or otherwise, pursue your ideas, follow them through, and then reach out to Japanese companies. Japan is an amazing space to partner. If you are a US company already and have a product and you want to expand your offerings, Japan is a great place to start. And so I would encourage you to think about Japan as the next iteration and country that you could go and test your products and ideas out.